Well, it's a little bit of an early one today. I was up late last night after a long stream, and man, what a great time that was. I recently have decided to start streaming on Twitch to kind of think tank it, as someone said. I don't remember who it was. But they said it was the YouTube channel's think tank. And I loved it because that's exactly what it is. We're just having a good time over there and playing video games. And that got me thinking about playing. And the past couple of videos I made is around the amount of games I have. And not just the games I have, but the fact that I have a hard time completing them, or I have too many to play, or I just keep buying them. In fact, I was just online right now looking up more games to buy. I'm bummed I didn't pull the trigger on Resident Evil 4 because I do want to end up playing that game, but maybe it was all for the best because I have a lot of other games I clearly need to finish. Today is the Yurgachev, Ethiopia. Whew, that is floral. Should have some fun with this. 25 grams. 400. Actually, we're going to go a little bit lighter because I think I'm going to record 2 of these today. So we're going 20 grams. But we should probably purge some of the previous coffee. That's good. Man, this smells crazy. But anyway, I was thinking more and more about this this game of the month thing. And I had a conversation with my buddy Tyson yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And it was always something that I thought would be good if it was like a subscription-based model. Because I'm like, yeah, we got all these people that want to play these games and make a subscription. Let me quickly say that that's changing, okay? But let me explain what it is and what it's called, because I've done a lot of thinking over this past month. And honestly, this month of just making these videos talking about video games and keeping it really low effort. Well, it's not low effort because I have to get everything together, but keeping it low production value. Has been amazing. Has been just what the doctor ordered to help me reset some of my burnt outness. And so this has been precisely what I needed. The game service itself that I was thinking was going to be a thing where we get together and we play video games each month. It's going to be one video game, and that one video game is one that we all do. It's as simple as picking one, and we get through it, and there's 12 a year, essentially. And we talk about it. We have little check-ins, we have little streams, that we have a good time playing it. And it's just like one of these instances in which we all get to enjoy a similar piece of content together. And that all came out of, it sparked out of the thought that maybe, just maybe, there are people who want to play games with other people, but maybe the multiplayer aspect of things isn't really for them. Because that's how I felt. I don't love all the different multiplayer games. I also just woke up like half an hour ago, so you'll have to excuse some of that. Like, oh, I actually have a lot to do today, and this is the only time I can do this. I also feel like I'm a lot more calm the beginning of my day rather than in the middle when I'm rushing to do stuff. At any rate, it's not why I'm talking about this. I feel that, you know, there are people like me who are like, dang, dude, I just want to play a game with someone else. But one, either they don't have someone else to play a game with, or two, which is what I experienced, there's just not games that are multiplayer enough for them to play. Now, don't get me wrong. I am having a great time. And when I say great time, I really mean it. A great time playing games like Modern Warfare 3. Never thought I would say that. And Fortnite. Fortnite, I knew I'd have a great time because I've been playing Fortnite for a long time. Let's double strain this. The reason why I want to double strain this is because I really want to heat up that glass. And so I've been really enjoying my time playing Modern Warfare 3 as well as Fortnite. Now, that being said, those types of games aren't for everybody. And I know that because I was someone who didn't play, Call of Duty. And, it's not my first pick when I want to play a multiplayer game, to be honest. But it still is one I play. I've been playing, some World of Warcraft. It was fun, but it's just not drawing me in. So it's not going to be something I continue to play. It is fun, though. I can certainly say that it's fun. But still, it's just not what I want. What I want is that experience where I'm like, oh my gosh, can you believe that Titus and Yuna? I always go back to Final Fantasy X because that game was so foundational in my understanding of what an RPG was. I'm coming off of, Zelda and games like that, Kingdom Hearts. And so Final Fantasy X was the first real turn-based RPG that when I played it, I felt this crazy connection to characters and then the mechanics and all that stuff. It just was really special to me. And so that game just has such a profound memory. And the biggest part about it was I had other friends playing it too. Sometimes they'd come over, sometimes they'd have it on their own PlayStations, but it was another game that we all played together at the same time. Same with Kingdom Hearts and stuff like that. And back when I was younger, that kind of stuff was really, really common. You'd get a game together, you'd play it together, and it's, what you did. I never had Xbox, so I never got into the multiplayer aspect of things. I know that multiplayer existed on PlayStation, but with my PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, all of that was really single player based narrative games that I'd play alongside my buddies, especially with my Game Boy or my 3DS or something along those lines. And so this idea of playing through a game with somebody else, rather than playing the very game itself with somebody else, is one I've yearned to recreate somehow. But I've always hit this wall. How do I do this? So the first thing that I thought was, create a service. And with that service, you have a subscription model, and then you can whatever. And part of that was business oriented. Make it a business type of thing where you're making a little bit of cash off of it. This is a good enough service. And then I thought to myself, what if? So I called my buddy Tyson. I said, hey, Tyson, I need to tell you something. I have something crazy to ask you. And he's just like, okay, shoot. And he's so gracious. He used to make videos and stream often, and I hope he does again because I love his creative style. But he listens to me talk about content creation all the time because he's kind of like my sounding board. And I go, what if, just what if, the whole thing, as it was called in my Conversations Cartridge Club, what if we did it for free? What if it wasn't a service? What if it was just a thing that was happening in the Discord community and everything? It's just what we do. And I figure out a different way. I figure out a different way to, make a revenue out of all this stuff that I'm doing. And he said, that certainly is an idea. It's not a crazy one. In fact, I think, he never said these words. So when he watches this, he's going to be like, I didn't say that. So I'm going to say what I heard from his tone. What I heard from his tone is, I think that's a better idea. And I do too. I think it's a better idea to make this thing that I've been dreaming of really for the past, year and thinking about and planning different things. Rather than a thing that you can subscribe to, just a thing you can do with other people in the community. And I say it that way because I certainly don't want it to feel like, I'm just going to put this right here. I certainly don't want it to feel like I have created a paywall. I don't like paywalls. I don't like all that stuff. I get it, right? some people do things, and I would have done it to create an income, and that's certainly what I was thinking. I'm like, this is something that's sustainable. I could create an income. I could make the coffee shop and all this stuff. And I'm just like, maybe there's a different way of going about it. Maybe instead of using this as a springboard for financial things, which is, what you think of when you're doing business stuff, maybe it's just something that needs to exist. And when it exists, then you can start thinking about different stuff, right? And so what I've decided that it's going to be called as of late and as of right now is Play. It's just called Play. I want it to be abundantly clear. Okay, I ground a little too coarse. That's not what I want to be abundantly clear. Hold on. Maybe it's just too hot. I'm not getting a lot of flavor clarity. I'm going to have to go down. I was at 6. I think it should be 5.3. There's 2 clicks. There's like 5, click, 6. So I think it's going to be 5 click. It's going to be 5 plus 1. 5 plus 1 is going to be the first one I'm going to do. Because I did the last one on 5, but it was so hard, the drawdown. Drawdown is the water pulling through the coffee grinds. The drawdown was really, really tight, and it was having a hard time getting through. So my assumption was that it was, of course, too fine, right? But the drawdown is even. Extraction is even. I'm thinking that maybe it wasn't that it was too tight. Maybe this coffee just was too new. Maybe it needed a little more time to degas. I don't know. There's still some flavor clarity, which is nice, but it's just the body isn't there. There's very little body. Granted, this is also a much lighter cup. It's 20 grams versus the last one I did, which would have been 30 grams, which is a huge difference between the two. And the drawdown was actually pretty big. Whatever. That's neither here nor there. Play. So, what is Play? What is it going to be? How is it going to go about? Well, Play is going to be a play along, essentially. It is a non-streamed, well, no, that's not true. That's not the best way to explain it. Play is a club that is alive in the Discord, my Discord. In fact, here's something I'm also going to be doing. Hold on. Play is alive in the Discord. And it's going to be on the first of the month or the last week of the month or whatever it's going to be. The last week of the previous month will announce today. The game of the month will be announced in the last cup. So the 30th will be the last cup, and I'll announce the game that we're going to be playing for December. And it's essentially just, hey, here's a game. Let's all play it together. Let's get through it together. And here you go. I think that one game a month is extremely approachable, but I also think that, I hear my kid, that's why I said, oh. I also think that not just is one game a month approachable, but it might be something we could do more. Maybe it's one game every 3 weeks. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out as the time goes on. But as it stands now, Play is a club. A book club, essentially, or a gaming club, where we play through a game a month. There's nothing, you don't earn anything. You don't get anything. All you get is to be a part of a conversation, right? A part of a, gaming thing. Is it going to be a game that you've never played? Probably not. Is it going to be a game you've already played? That's possible. I seek to gain I seek to gain nothing out of it. My goal with this, and my goal with everything that I did when I started and lost sight of and now have much better, I have a much better outlook, or much better, I'm locked in, was always to create excitement around playing video games. Always that. As simple as that. Where does that excitement lie? Does that excitement lie with Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, PC? Yes. Where does my excitement lie? I find myself more inclined to playing certain titles, and those certain titles tend to live on both Nintendo and PlayStation. And if my heart was to fall in love with a specific genre, a specific batch of titles, Nintendo seems to have that just due to the nature of me growing up with Nintendo products. And so I find myself there a lot. Does that mean that that's all that we're going to see? No, but it seems to be the most popular gaming console that exists with gamers. So it's probably more likely that a title that's going to be chosen for the foreseeable future is going to be something that is a little that's probably going to be on the Nintendo Switch, if I'm being honest with you. And so, first title is probably going to be on the Nintendo Switch. Now, that'll also be announced because it's not locked in yet, if I'm being honest with you. That'll be announced November 30th as the month ends and as we do something like that. This, again, is something that I've been dreaming about for a long time. It's kind of like my baby. Like, how are we going to do this? It was a little thought that someone had made, and I'm like, this is a very practical way of going about playing games with other people. Now, I had this really humbling realization over these past, what are we at now? 28 days. Which was, I started doing this and making videos based on YouTube school that I was in. And a lot of it was like create access, this. It was all about monetizing, right? And so that's where a lot of my craziness came from. So I have channel memberships and I'm like, oh, then we're going to do this. And I have Patreon. Oh, we're going to do this. And then now I have Twitch subs, which is like, oh, like exclusive. From today, moving forward, that nothing is granting anyone exclusive access. Plain as that. For two reasons. One, who the heck am I, dude? Exclusive access? I'm not important. Okay? I'm not going to be like, oh, let's pay $5 and you can talk to me. No. That's dumb. I'm not, no. Talking to me doesn't cost anything. I'm in the Discord. Am I always there? No. Am I seldom there? Yes, because I don't have time to get on there a lot. I'm not granting anyone exclusive access. Here I am. Come to the channel, talk to me in the comments. Go on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, there's the access, dude. I will talk to you as much as you want to talk to me. It's as plain as that. If you're in the Discord, not more so. More so on Twitch because I'm there intentionally, that space, that time, those few hours to play video games. I'm intentionally using that time to talk with you. But this idea of exclusive this, special Discord room, that ends today. Everything is that exists for this channel. The Discord, play, streams, it's that. Memberships are going to be the same price. Everything's the same across the board. It's the only thing you get, I guess, would be badges and emotes or emojis or whatever they're freaking called. Who knows, dude? I'm freaking 34 years old and I did not grow up doing this. All of it's the same price. $5. Simple. Because that's kind of a uniform blank whatever. I don't have more to give anyone. I am not that interesting. So it's not important that, whatever. If, the Patreon, I was like, oh, we're going to have a Patreon all set up. I spent hours setting it up just to hear basically God be like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, just simplify everything and just give it away. Give it away. Holding anything with the tight fists mean you can't hold anything. Hold it loosely and look how much more space you have. And so that's precisely what I feel like needs to happen at any rate. And so play is going to be a thing we do. Doesn't cost. It's not anything. It's just a thing we do. We play together. And from there, memberships and subscriptions And Patreon's not really going to be a thing because I don't have anything to offer you because I'm not going to put anything behind a paywall. And so Patreon, for anyone who's subscribed on Patreon, I think it's just going to exist as like, hey, here, I support you. Like all those things are just going to be like, here, I support you. Go ahead. Like, and that's as simple as that. But honestly, it doesn't, like, don't feel obligated. The best thing you can do, honestly, is on videos like these, get them out there more, and then make YouTube pay me, right? I don't want to make you pay me. Make YouTube pay me. So by sharing a video or liking it is what does it. That's the best thing you can do. It's free, and it makes someone else, and makes the big dogs give me some of their money. Let's do that. Let's cost them. But if you're like, no, I feel like supporting what you're doing, there's going to be something. Tyson said create a PayPal link. That might be something. I don't know. Honestly, it's weird. It's a weird thing because I am in a place where I've learned the lingo, right? Become a member, because that's kind of what you do. But these past 28 days, I've taken a step back and been like, but what does that mean? And it means it's basically me saying, hey, give me $5 a month to watch my stuff. That's freaking crazy. That's weird. Like, I am thinking about like sitting down with my friends and talking about coffee and being like, hey, give me $5 to talk. No. Okay? So like that verbiage, now that I've thought about it, I'm like, oh gosh. So they'll exist. I'm not getting rid of them because it would be stupid to. And like all these different things, I'm like, oh, no affiliate links, all this, that, and the other. Because, I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to sell you stuff, all that stuff. As I said, these 30 days have been a process. And my goal with all of this was always to take a step back and assess. But I can't do that laying down, essentially. Everyone's like, you need to rest. And I'm like, I can't. I can't rest. I can't. Well, let me rephrase that. I don't rest by stopping. That's not how I rest. I rest by doing, but in doing, it's cathartic. Doing this has been very, very therapeutic. You know what I mean, dude? Like just talking to you. And it's been great. And in doing so, I get to process out loud. That's what I do. People have commented being like, you changed your mind. Yeah. I'm a human being who changes my mind. I just so happen to be, fortunately and unfortunately, fortunately, by the grace of God, in a position where I can make videos and make some income from it. But unfortunately, my videos include very, very personal processing. I am a verbal processor. I process everything out loud. Even when I'm sitting alone in my office, I will process things out loud. And because I make content, a lot of my ideas are around ideas that I have or thoughts that I have. Well, those change. And so at the beginning of this process, I'm like, I'm going to make a video every day for the next however long. Halfway through, I'm like, this is pretty good. Let's make produced stuff. 3/4 of the way through, I'm like, this is not something I want to do every day for the next however long. And now I'm sitting here going like, this has been a beautiful experience, a transformative experience. This was never, like I'm looking at it, I'm going, this isn't my content strategy. This has been a 30-day therapeutic reset to get me excited about making produced content again and really not projecting, but propelling forward in 2024, or season 3 is a better way of putting it forward, and getting excited. And just, I'm to the moon stoked on the next phase of what I get to do. I haven't felt that, dudes. I have not felt that in a year and a half, if I'm being honest with you. Because I've been chasing my tail. I've been chasing this thing, which is views. I've allowed them to just fall down. I've allowed all of it to not matter for this moment so that I could focus. And what Cup 28 has, I guess, been all about, if we're going to bring it home, if you're still here, is moving into season 3 will be very, very focused. my focus, my one word that I write down at the top of my page when I'm making my thing, my one word is community. That is the goal of season 3 is community. How is that built? And so play is one part of it. Another is going to be hanging out in live streams on Twitch. And someone asked, why not YouTube? And it's because I want it to be somewhere where it feels completely detached and doesn't live next to. And not hiding it, but it doesn't live next to my normal produced stuff. So if I'm in there, yesterday I was in there talking about this idea. If I'm in there, it's very likely that you will hear something or hear me verbally process an idea for a video, for an announcement, for a game that I want to play with you guys, whatever it may be. It's very possible that will be talked about, thought about, or even just brainstormed in one of those live streams. And then eventually curated, properly packaged, and presented properly. Right, in a very, very refined way here in this space, as this space evolves and turns more into my presentation floor, if that makes sense. Nothing's going to necessarily change about me. It's going to be very, very much so me, myself, but it's going to be intentional. And who would have thought? Who would have thought that 28 cups of coffee in 28 days would be so unbelievably therapeutic? I certainly wouldn't have. I really wouldn't have. And we have 2 more before this series, this 30-day series, comes to a close. The 29th and the 30th cup. And maybe the only thing that becomes consistent out of this is that in November, this is a little thing I do. 30 cups in 30 days. I'm not mad at that idea. But I'm not making any promises because this was kind of a spontaneous decision. And in it being spontaneous, it has been greater than I could have ever imagined. All right, well, I guess there was a couple of drops left. Whoops. All right, guys. Happy gaming.